morning. My name's Kylie. Kylie does it all. It's my first time performing in Los Angeles, and this is exactly the crowd I expected. So we're already on track. We're already there. I drove here from Redding. I live in Northern California, and I'm on a little kind of trip around trying to create new opportunities for myself. I got into stand-up comedy 2 years ago, and I'm trying to retire from prostitution. So there's a couple of things that I've learned in the course of that action that I feel like every person can use. And so I'm gonna share a couple of those things with you today and talk to you a little bit about what I got going on in my life. And the first thing that I wanna share for you, this piece of advice is for the gentleman, right? So I'm gonna put this in a context that fellas can understand. You're in the gym, you're getting in your reps, you're getting in your sets, you're lifting. And with less resistance, you could get in more reps, right? Less resistance, more reps. Well, in the spirit of that knowledge, when I'm down there and I'm sucking your dick for you, I'm gonna need you to let the fuck go of my head, because every time I go like this, it's like a 20-pound rep right on my neck. And I'm trying to give you that longevity, baby. Yes, sir. Professional, trained. The next piece of advice that I have is for the women. Karen, this is for you. I know you got a little boo out there, Karen. I see that face is pretty. Karen, next time you're with your little boo and you're down there and you're servicing him, you need to give him a gag. It doesn't matter what size it is, ladies. That's what really gets them going. There's a symbiotic relationship.
Amen.
Morning, y'all. I didn't come here to play. There's a symbiotic relationship between fat white women and black men. In that, I happen to get hired by a lot of African American gentlemen, but that's not a problem for me. I love black men and they love me, and it's a good time. But the thing about prostitution in the modern day age is that these are real businesses. This is 2025. Fat pussy is expensive and they pay what I weigh. And you have to leave a deposit for me to come. So they contact me for my ad, they drop deposit, and I come visit. And recently I had an appointment. It was about an hour from my house. That's a $100 deposit. They drop the deposit. I get there. When I get there, it's an OG black man, right? But I'm ovulating. And I don't know if you know a woman who is possessed by the monster that is ovulation, but I will fuck a vacuum handle. And I'm not gonna tell you how I came to that conclusion. But anyways, I get there, it's an OG black man and I'm ovulating, so I'm like, I could work with this, right? But one of the things that you learn through the course of prostitution is that crack cocaine has a little buzz to it. When you step in the room and there's some crack there, you could feel it. But as I had told you a second ago, fat pussy is expensive, so it's not my place to judge whether he's selling the crack or whether he's doing the crack. It's not my time to get morals. I'm just there to do my job. So come into the room and we get to fucking, and he's stroking my pussy real good, man. We're having a good time. And as he does, he splays his mouth back in a fit of passion. And that's when I notice I'm getting fucked real good by a toothless crackhead. But you can't pick the clients. Had another experience similar to this. Had a young man call me. He dropped the deposit. He said, would you mind picking me up from work? I said, no, I do not. I get there, young African-American gentleman sitting outside of the Popeyes waving at me. Yes, sir. So, you know, he ended up becoming a regular of mine, and the next time that he asked me to pick him up, he says, hey, would you mind picking me up where I live this time? I said, no problem, no problem. He sends the deposit, sends the address. It's the local homeless shelter. Whoa. And now, as I said, this pussy costs as much as an apartment deposit in the times that he's invested, but it's not my place to get morals right now. It's just my place to do my job. So I take him back to the house, right? And we get to fucking. Damn. And he leans into me and he gently whispers in my ear, call me Kabongo. I quickly said, I don't do race play. I have a mixed race child. A lot of people want to hire me to do weird shit and I'm not into it. I said, no, sir, I don't do race play. He shakes his head. He said, okay, no problem. Well, the algorithm is strong on phones. So a couple days later, it pops up on my Facebook, a picture of him, and it says, Kabongo Scott. And I said, ooh, I might have fucked up. So I take the name and I put it in Google, and it turns out it's a Singali name, and it means the smart one. And you know the thing about it is that sometimes when you're trying not to be a racist, you end up being a racist. And that was that man's real name. So now whenever he sends me the deposit to pick him up from the Popeyes, I yell, hit that shit, Kabongo, and everybody's having a really good time. I like to teach people lessons about women that they might not have heard before. And there's two ways that women test whether or not their panties are clean.
Oh, sure.
The first test is the density test. Now, if you are walking along and you see your panties on the floor, you don't know if they came from the washer or from the hamper, you bend over to pick them up, you need to go to the crotch area. Now, some of you gentlemen are administering these tests already, and I don't need to tell you about this, but some of you aren't. So you look at the crotch area, and if it crinkles like this, or it looks like your Uncle Cheeto's starched jeans, or coincidentally, Miss Karen's, I saw those bleach lines, girl, you starched those 7,000 times, then it does not pass the density test, and there is no need to go to any further tests. The second test that you need to administer to test whether or not your panties are clean is going to be a smell test. Now, the other day I had saw some underwear of my own on the floor, and I decided that I needed to handle this, and I picked them up. And as I lifted them to my face for a hearty whiff, I heard my 16-year-old son say, wow, facing them is wild. And I didn't know in that moment if I should be really embarrassed about what just happened, or if I had just taught him a very valuable lesson about women. My son, he's great. It's just me and him. I'm a single mom, swinging single mom. He knows what I do, unfortunately, but we try to keep it under wraps in the house. But I'm trying to get out of that. I'm slinging these jokes out my car. I sew, I do a lot of other things, but I can't teach him how to be a man, you know? I'm a single mom. I just cannot teach him how to be a man. The one thing I do try to teach him is no matter what that girl says, order her some fries. I feel like I'm gonna save a couple of his relationships in the long run with that one. But recently, he turned 16 this summer, and all my life I've had facial hair. I got PCOS, and in my last 2 years of high school, they called me the bearded lady. That's a real character builder, and that's always, I wouldn't say always been a drawback for me, because once I got into hoeing, there are some things that are an upcharge. Dirty feet, dirty pussy, dirty ass, not showering for a couple of days, my beard, those are all extras. But, you know, in dating and stuff, it was hard. But recently, this summer, my son turned 16, and he came to me, you know, and he said, Mom, I started getting some facial hair, and I really don't know what to do. And I said, you know what, God, you've been preparing me for this moment all of my life. Come on, Jordan, I've got you. I'll teach you how to shave. A lot of people look at me, and when I talk about my relationship with prostitution, they be like, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. I wouldn't fuck her. I wouldn't fuck her with my friend's dick. I ain't paying to fuck her. But the thing about that is that fat pussy is like a warm hug for your dick. And everybody should try it at least once in their lifetime. I think that's all I have for today. I appreciate y'all being here. My name is Kylie Does It All. Thank you so much.